The MegaMets podcast is back. Tonight, we look over the New Japan Cup 2024, New Japan's version of March Madness. 28 men in this year's tournament, single elimination. Lose one, you're done. Winner gets the next immediate IWGP World Heavyweight title shot Saturday, April the 6th, Sakura Genesis in the Ryogoku Kagokigan.
Wow, that's a lot.
On the bracket this year are in Group A, 2020 last year's winner, Sonata, Yoshihashi, Kenta, Shota Umino, the Scapegoat, Jack Perry, Toru Yano, and Yujiro Takahashi. In Group B, TJP, David Finlay, Tonga Loa, KOPW Provisional Champion, Great Okan, Tomohiro Ishii, Chase Owens, and Hiroki Goto. In Group C, Evil, Hikuleo, Bolton Oleg, Shingo Takagi, Yuya Uemura, Callum Newman, Gabe Kidd, and Gabe Kidd. And Group D, Yota Tsuji, Jeff Cobb, El Phantasmo, Mikey Nichols, Taichi, Ren Narita, and 2018 and 2022 winner, Zack Sabre Jr. So yeah, 4 former winners of the tournament got bought first-round buys.
Mm-hmm.
Goto's won it 3 times in 2009, 2010, and 2012. Evil winning it in 2020.
Yep.
Looking at this field, there no Okada, no Ospreay. These guys have quite a void to fill with this year's tournament.
This will be interesting.
We're
gonna go through each one by one. Let's get started.
We'll start with Group A, which is March 6th, the 52nd anniversary show. Let me pull up that card.
First up is Yoshihashi versus Kenta.
As far as I know, Yoshi's never beaten Kenta, but if he does here, this puts Bishamon back in the conversation for an IWGP Heavyweight Tag Title shot.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I view Goto beating Chase in round 2 more likely than Yoshi beating Kenta in round 1, so I'm going to go Kenta.
Fair enough. I will also go Kenta.
Toru Yano against House of Torture's Yujiro Takahashi. Oh, God. If this is the piss break match that may get some forced laughs, I can understand why this is the first of the 3 New Japan Cup matches on the night.
Yeah.
It's not like the main event of the show overall is going to be any better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. The main event of this anniversary event is Naito. It's the traditional IWGP World Heavyweight versus Junior Heavyweight Champions match. It's Naito against Sho, who had to basically have Ren Narita choke Desperado out while in night 1 in Sapporo, and win the title via count out. The only problem is Sho doesn't have the title because Yo stole it.
Agreed.
Something tells me it's going to lead to a 3-way between Yo, Sho, and Despy at Sakura Genesis.
I have to agree with you on that.
Mostly because Despy's has an obligatory rematch he can use. Rematch clause he can use as a former champ. Yo has possession of the title and shows the champion who needs to get it back.
Indeed.
I hate the little bastard.
Yep.
As for this match, who do you got?
Between Yano and Takahashi, my vote is on Yano.
Same here. If there's anyone who can outwit the House of Torture, it's him. Especially when you consider that Yujiro has basically spun his wheels for the better part of a decade.
Indeed.
Was it, in hindsight, was it a mistake for him to leave Chaos for Bullet Club in general? Career move-wise, some would say no. I mean, he's gotten a never openweight title reign out of it, 3 never openweight 4 never openweight 6-man title reigns out of it. But beyond that, he's been little more than a parasite who just clings to whoever exudes power. Unfortunately, for me, evil exudes insecurity. Finally, Shota Umino against the scapegoat Jack Perry. This stems from the Battle in the Valley event in San Jose, where in the aftermath of a six-man tag where Shota Umino, Satoshi Kojima, and Fred Rosser, FKA Taron Young, defeated Team Filthy, Jack Perry attacked Shota, and then in the middle of the ring ripped up his AEW contract.
Yep.
Jungle Boy is dead, and born in his place is the scapegoat. Would I be surprised by the end of the night he joins House of Torture? No.
I wouldn't be surprised, but my guess he won't.
Especially if this is just a one-shot. And even if he does join New Japan, he'll be mostly stuck on the Strong brand for a time before he goes up to the big leagues.
Yep.
I'm going to give this to Jack.
I'll probably also give it to Jack.
Moving on to March 7th, Korakuen Hall.
We got ourselves 3 matches tonight. 3 matches on that day.
We start with...
Yeah, start with TJP versus David Finlay.
TJ declaring himself open weight means he can bounce between the BOSJ and the G1 until he feels ready to move up to the heavyweights. Unfortunately, this comes at the trade-off of disbanding the team of Catch 2-2, which is depressing to me.
May know better that Will Ospreay has moved on to AEW.
So is Okada.
In
any case, TJ and Finlay fought Battle in the Valley, and Finlay came out on top. Finlay is pissed after dropping the global title to Nick Nemeth, who was originally planning to defend the title against Tanahashi at Sakura Genesis, but an ankle injury to the Ace has led to that match getting scrapped.
Indeed.
Granted, he will still defend that, make his first defense of that title on March 8th at TNA Sacrifice.
Indeed.
I'm surprised he got the IWGP committee to go along with that. Anyway, I'm going to give this to Finlay.
I'm also giving it also to Finlay. Let's hope he can make it this far this time.
Well, he got to the finals last year.
Let's hope he can pull it off this year.
True. Because let's face it, him winning the Never title last year and the global title earlier this year, Wrestle Kingdom, stepping stones. His real prize is that world title. Tonga Loa against the Great Okan. I'm actually going to give this to Loa because beat Okan, you've opened the door to a KOPW Provisional 2024 title match.
I agree. I'm also giving it to Tangaloa.
Chase Owens against Tomohiro Ishii. Ishii hasn't gone out of the first round in a few years, so I'm going to give this to Chase, believe it or not.
I'm also giving it to Chase. Sorry, Ishii, but you're not going to make it past the first round.
Next up, Amiesi Yamanishi, March 8th in Yamanishi. Your turn for this one, Group C.
Hikuleo versus Bolton Oleg. Oleg is making his debut entry in this tournament, while Hikuleo is his second entry, the first in 5 years.
Interesting. So, who you taking?
This is going to be a tough one to choose because Hikuleo has mixed emotions, but still undeniable momentum. Having had the Gorillas of Destiny torch passed to him by his big brother, Tamatonga. Bolton, this is his debut. Comes right as his possession in ring advances. Because Zach's well used to single elimination in the New Japan Cup from his massive success in the amateur ranks. Question is, can he be able to succeed against Hikuleo, quarterfinalist of G1 Climax 33? So if I were to pick, I'd give Bolton a shot.
I'm giving this to Leo. When a young lion is usually in this sort of spotlight, it just screams 2 words: cannon fodder.
Of course.
Cal Newman against Gabe Kidd. Same principle here. Newman may be the guy Ospreay may have picked to replace him in the UE, but Kidd is a fucking grade A psychopath since joining the War Dogs.
Wow.
And I put emphasis on psycho. He's gone after Ospreay, he's gone after Okada, he's gone after Naito, Kiyomiya. Most of them without provocation.
Indeed.
I'm giving this to Kidd.
I'm also giving it to the kid.
Shingo Takagi against Yuya Uemura. Uemura fresh off getting his head shaved. I wonder what that's going to look like.
Yikes. Mega yikes, I tell you that much.
Uemura hasn't competed in this tournament since 2020. Furthest
I only hope he's not rusty.
Well, he was a junior heavyweight when he competed in 2020. And remember, New Japan's roster got stretched thin by the pandemic that year. They had to make do with what was on hand.
Yeah.
The furthest Shingo's gone along, runner-up in the 2021 tournament, which was won by Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, they had a banger match at Dentaku that year, which led to Will separating his short and being forced to vacate it, which led to Shingo versus Okada at Dominion in Osaka Joe Hall that year, which led to Shingo holding the belt for around 200 days.
Indeed. If I were to pick, I would probably choose Takagi. He's got what it takes. He made it far in 2021 as the runner-up.
Mm-hmm. I will also pick the Dragon. Though I don't expect him to put the heat in the flames of the heat storm out that easily.
I know.
Next up, March 10th, D Group. Hyogo, Baycom Gymnasium, Amagasaki Memorial Park Gym.
Indeed.
On that end, we have got Jeff Cobb versus Yota Tsuji to start off. Powerhouse. And this is going to be the Haas fight.
Yep. This will be tough. Really tough indeed.
Tsuji, Cobb.
Flip it.
My pick is Tsuji.
My vote is Cobb. He made it far in the quarterfinals in 2022.
True. El Phantasmo against Mikey Nichols. Mikey's furthest advancement was round 2 in the 2019 tournament. Phantasmo's never gotten out of the first round.
Well, this will be tough. Oh, wait, no. Who am I kidding? None of them are going to make it that far. If they couldn't even make it past the first round.
I said Nichols made it to round 2 in 19.
Mm-hmm. But El Phantasmo was his third entry, his third consecutive. He's also a strong open-weight tag champ, his career personal best, and hey.
Meaning never out of the first round.
Nope. If I were to pick, I'd choose Nichols.
Yeah, and the question is, when is Shane Hayes coming back from whatever injury he suffered?
Only time will tell.
I'll also give this to Nichols, mostly because it would get Team DK into this strong openweight tag title mix.
That would be a good idea.
Next up, Taichi against Ren Narita. Revisiting Just 5 Guys versus the House of Torture. Winner of this gets Zack Sabre Jr. on the 15th.
Yep.
On the one hand, you want to see how... I would love to see Taichi take on Zack, just to show Zack how far he's come on his own since the disbandment of Suzuki-gun, and by proxy of their 3-time IWGP Heavyweight Tag Title team, Dangerous Tekkers. But, on the other hand, Ren Narita wants payback on Zack for beating him at Wrestle Kingdom in the finals of that tournament to crown the inaugural New Japan World Television Champion last year, and this time, Zack will witness how far how low Ren is willing to stoop to get that payback.
Yep.
Especially when you consider that Just Five Guys spent most of the back end of the summer and the entirety of last fall dealing with the House of Torture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give this to Narita.
I figured you'd say that. I'm voting for Taichi.
Okay, moving on.
We went through the first round. Now begins the second round.
March 11th. We both had Kenta against Sanada. I'm going to go Sanada.
I will also go Sanada. Sorry, Kenta.
Jack Perry versus Toru Yano. I'm going to go Jack.
I will go Jack.
March 12th. David Finlay against Tongaloa. Finlay.
Finlay.
Chase Owens versus Hiroki Goto. Goto.
I will also go to the Goto.
March 13th. Oh, God. Hikuleo against Evil. Fuck you to death, Evil. Fuck you to death.
I'm voting Hikuleo. Evil can go to hell.
I'm taking Evil.
Good choice.
Shingo Takagi against Gabe Kidd. I don't think Shingo's going to be ready for this kind of a...
Let's give it to the kid.
I think they're going to go Shingo, mostly because they need the face-heel dynamic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yota Tsuji versus Mikey Nichols on the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Tsuji.
I will also go Tsuji.
Narita versus ZSJ. If there's any one guy who knows how to outsmart the House of Torture better than Yano, it's Zack. He's had to use tomfoolery twice. Let's hope third time is the charm.
It better be the charm, or Zack's going to wipe him out.
I meant third time's the charm for Zack to put the House of Torture in their place.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right. It's time to put the HOT in their place, so I vote for Zack.
Same here.
Now we move on to the quarterfinals.
March 16th, we have Sanada against Jack Perry. I'm going to go Sanada again.
I will probably go for Sanada as well.
David Finlay against Hiroki Goto. I'm going Finlay.
Yep, same for that. I'm also on Finlay. Next
St.
up.
Patrick's Day. Evil versus Shingo Takagi. Shingo wants payback for that G133 loss.
Let Shingo be victorious. That's my vote.
Same here. And it would get him a never open weight title match.
That would be a bonus.
Yeah, but all of LIJ is going to have to be cornering Shingo just to keep the House of Torture in check.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the lone exception would be Naito, since he has to get ready for whoever wins this tournament.
Indeed.
As for Zack Sabre Jr. against Yota Tsuji, I'm going to go Zack.
I will also go Zack. With the quarterfinals behind us, the semifinals remain.
March 18th. That takes place in... 11th was in Ehime. 11th and 12th and 13th. 12th were in Ehime. 13th in Okayama. 15th in Osaka. 16th in Aichi. 17th in Shizuoka. Fukushima. Big Palette. Fukushima.
Yep.
The semifinals for us are Sanada against David Finlay. Finlay gets that win back.
Finlay deserves that win. Sorry, Sanada.
The other half is Shingo Takagi against Zack Sabre Jr. I'm going to go Shingo on this. I mean, don't get me wrong. They have incredible chemistry. But I don't think Zack is... If the face-heel dynamic plays out as it did in 21, Zack is going to lose again.
You're kind of right. Shingo's going to have to be the one winning this one.
Mm-hmm.
Which means now we lead to the finals.
Niigata and the Aoi Nagaoka on March 20th. David Finlay versus Shingo Takagi. We are going to take Finlay to win this one because it would make no sense for Shingo to win the tournament and then hop ship in the same way Evil did.
Finley is going to have to be the one winning it all.
And for those wondering why I say that, let's keep in mind, in 2020, when Evil hop shipped from LIJ to Bullet Club, it was due to the fact that logistically, because of the COVID pandemic cutting the borders off, entry and exit from in and out of Japan off, Bullet Club ended up getting stretched thin. So they needed to poach from another faction.
Indeed.
And Evil was showing a much more vicious side through the back end of that tournament. Busting up Yoshihashi's leg in the quarters and beating him in a little more than a minute, low-blowing Sonata, and then getting in the semis, and then getting interference from Yujiro, Jado, and Gato to get the win over Okada in that final.
Yep.
At the time, it made sense, but in hindsight, it's done Bullet Club a lot more harm than good.
Yeah, you're right.
If Finley wins the tournament, it makes sense because, again, what is his MO? His Bullet Club is for killers and savages only, with one cardinal rule. You bring gold, and if you can't bring that, you bring corpses.
So true.
And you do it no matter the cost and by any means necessary.
Yep. No matter the cost, whatever it takes.
Finley wins. He goes on to Sakura Genesis, and maybe he does knock Naito off the perch. Because let's face it, Naito's at the twilight of his career at around 41 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And given his knees, I'm not sure if they would even if Tanahashi would be willing to give Naito that lengthy reign.
Very true.
Well, folks, there you have it. Our picks for the New Japan Cup 2024.
Let's only hope that our picks can either pay off or crash and burn.
Yep. Comment, like, if you want. Share and subscribe to the channels. This is Mets2128 alongside MegaMan and G. We are signing out. Bid you adieu. So goodbye. Good effing night. Bang. We'll see you tomorrow night at 7 for AEW Revolution predictions.
Indeed.
See you tomorrow night, Jose.
Right. See you then.